Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome back to the Minecraft 2025 Let's Play Adventure, where today we are continuing where we left off in the last video, and the video before that, and the video before that. We are continuing work on the basement level. Kind of. Asterisks. Not really. Because today, we're doing something a little different. We're not working down here. We're working on something that I desperately realized I needed over the last couple of episodes, and that's a straight shot to this room. Currently, if you want to go here, you either have to go up above it or just below it and then run to here. We need to add an elevator. But here's the problem. This is the area where it has to go. And let's say we wanted the elevator to be right here. This is the absolute furthest. Well, no, there's chests here. So let's say this is the absolute furthest we can go. It's one block too shy. Now, before we moved the elevators and widened them to make room for the long drop, it would have worked. But we're past that point now. There's no rolling back the hands of fate. Nope. The hands of the clock. That's it. Not fate. Not fate, not destiny. That doesn't play into today's video. I hope. We'll see. But what we have to do is we actually have to widen this thing out such that this is the edge, right? Like right there. In front of where the gosh darn, you're telling me it's got to go right there where the goodness me, the flint is? That's what I'm telling you, folks. That's what I'm telling you. That's going to be the edge. That's going to be the down, separator, long drop, and then coming up, and then the other edge. So all of this in the middle has to be relocated. Now, this is not going to be a difficult episode to film. If you just kind of look at the problem at hand, it's just going to be tedious. I have to take things out of chests, move them to the different chests, do a little bit of a remodel, put it all back together. It's not that big a deal. And in fact, we don't even really have to move these things. We just have to shuffle them. Like this chest has nothing in it. So we can move all the redstone there, and then we can move all the diamonds down there, and then we can move that to there, and we can move that to there, and then we can have a dividing wall here. That leaves all of this stuff. Every so often that goes off, and it absolutely terrifies me. Where are we? We still haven't filled up the chest. How long has this thing been manufactured and operational? Goodness me, it's still not. We've got to make it bigger at some point. Lots to do this year, and we're running out of time. We're past the halfway mark. So we're going to have to just figure out where to put the rest of this. Some of this doesn't need to be over here, right? Like, that's the thing. Let's have another look at this. That's that edge, okay? So we got that edge, and then the down, spacer, long drop, spacer, up, edge. Well, that leaves like a tiny little section here if we wanted to put something there. Alternatively, we could get rid of this support pillar here and have, you know, a row of a few different, like, commonly used goods and items, but we can also just relocate things to either of those massive cavities over there that we've really yet to do anything with. I want to collect these before they despawn, because they might come in handy. But here's what I'm going to go ahead and do, okay? I normally, or under most other circumstances, when doing a project, why do I have 64 stripped oak logs and no memory of making them? Why do those exist? Why do I have so many of them? I couldn't tell you. Normally what I would do is I would just do a cut, right? And I would say, okay, well, we'll cut back when we're done. I'm not doing that today. And the reason I'm not doing that today is that I've actually got something to say. I've got something to talk about here. Because it's a question that I had myself while kind of working on yesterday's video. We sort of did a bit where I was like, oh, imagine trying to show this video to someone and having to explain it to them. What even is this series? And it really did get me thinking. I was like, what is this series? If you ever watch videos, and I used to watch these a lot, at a different time in my life, a different time in my YouTube, in quotes, career, I used to watch a ton of these videos that were basically sort of like guides or tips on how to make YouTube content, how to make your videos, how to be more successful with your channel, that sort of cringe stuff, right? I call it cringe. I'm mostly joking there, but what I mean is that a lot of this self-help content doesn't really help, because you'll find that oftentimes they're from channels that themselves aren't doing very good, and you have to question why you're taking advice from them. What do they know? And the only success they have is from other people who don't know what they're doing. Why are there so many of these signs in there? I have no memory. Oh, no, I do have a memory of that. I know how they got in there. Never mind. Oh, dear. Okay, hold on. You often wonder, like, well, why should I take your word for it? And really, you shouldn't. I guess you could make the argument that theirs is a niche audience. It's just other creators, so you have a limit to growth. But I've gone off. None of this is relevant to what I was trying to tell you. If you ever watch videos from people who are trying to help other people make YouTube videos, they will oftentimes tell you, correctly so, that you need to know your audience in order to make videos for them. That's not a mistake. That's not bad advice. That's good advice. And I've always kind of just ignored it. Or rather, I've always taken the approach that, well, my videos are for me. What I make is something I would want to watch. And you could say that doesn't make for, I guess, the best formula. That doesn't really guarantee success. And that is 100% true. I've tried it before. I've sat down and thought, like, okay, who is this video for? And I've tried to really... Oh, shoot, I forgot to move all that stuff. I've tried to actually work out, like, okay, who is my target audience? And I figured it out. It's like I go to the analytics, and it's mostly guys about my age based on the analytics. I'm like, okay, how do I make content for them? And I think about it, and I'm like, I don't really care. I just want to make what I want to make. And we don't get anywhere from there. So if we ask ourselves the question, who is this series for? I guess it's just because I want to make it. This series exists for no reason other than the fact that I wanted to make it. I wanted to play vanilla Minecraft. I thought it would make for a good series. Guy who only ever plays modded Minecraft tries vanilla Minecraft for every day for an entire year. I still think that's a great premise. I think it's a fantastic premise. I don't think there's anything wrong with the premise as stated or even necessarily as executed. The series isn't for everyone. That's okay. We'll get to that. But when I really stopped and asked myself the question, who is this for? What I began to realize was that I don't know. If we move past the idea that I'm making it for myself, like obviously that goes without saying. But then if we actually ask ourselves, like, okay, well, who's going to want to watch it? And more importantly, why would they want to watch it? I started to realize that I really just don't know for sure. And I had to start analyzing that. I had to be very serious with the question of, like, what is the draw for this series? If I was going to try to pitch this series, what would I say the draw is? And here's what I've come to the conclusion of. Okay, this is my pitch. I sat down and I decided to cook up an elevator pitch. I'm going to present it to you now, and I want you to let me know whether or not you think I've got the right idea. Okay, so here's my elevator pitch for what this series is. Cozy, relaxed, chill videos where a guy who is familiar with Minecraft but not familiar with new Minecraft embarks on a journey to try to figure out what the heck's going on since the game has changed so much since, in quotes, his time, because he's an old-timer. And sometimes he gets a little excited and shouts, but for the most part, there's no surprises, there's nothing overly abrasive. The videos are very relaxed. They're very formulaic. You know what you're getting into. It's Minecraft comfort food, or rather Minecraft comfort viewing, right? I think that might be it there. I think that might be the ticket, right? That's at least where I'm viewing it, or how I'm approaching it. I'm viewing it from the perspective of, one moment, let me get something here. I'm actually going to get the clutter crate, if I can find it. There you are, the loot box, I should say. I'm going to put everything I normally carry around in my inventory, except for the two of those, inside of here, as well as, I guess, the two of these, because I need the two of these to do the work. And then we'll just place these down next to it. Now I have more room in my inventory for moving things around. Is that a fair assessment of the content? Do we feel like that's a good representation of what you're getting yourself into when you watch this series? Comment down below, please, and let me know. But I want to make it very clear, that's not what I'm seeking to create. I didn't start this series with that game plan. I didn't do that thing where I analyze, like, who is my target audience and how am I going to appeal to them. I did none of that. Right? I did absolutely none of that. Rather, I just started making the series the way I sort of envisioned the series being, and that's just what it has turned into. And I would like to know, what do you think, how would you describe the series to someone? Would you recommend it to someone? What type of person would you recommend it to? And how would you recommend it? Would you recommend it in the manner that I've sort of portrayed it here as like a, listen, this is pretty straightforward, relaxed. Guy tries to play Minecraft and is sometimes messed with by a pimple popper. What is his name? Wickle Pip Whistle. Very rarely, on very rare occasion, does a pickle pip whistle show up and cause him some grief. I knew when I started the series, one thing I definitely knew was that it wasn't going to be a very big series or like a very popular series. I definitely knew going in, I was like, this is a series that is going to appeal to a very small number of people. This is a niche series. And I'll tell you what, each episode gets about 30 views. And I think they're all probably from the exact same people. Every episode. It's the exact same 30 people. I don't know that for sure. I've got no way to know that for sure. But that's my assumption, and I feel like I'm probably right on that front. And the reason I think that is just because I think there's a group of people out there for whom this is what they want it to be. This is what they want to watch. It's not that this is the only content they watch. I highly doubt, for anyone out there, I am a creator that this is the only content you watch. You know what I mean? But I do think that there probably are a large number of people for whom they keep clicking on the videos not because they think they're going to... I don't know. I don't know my audience. Like I said, I never did that thing. I never did that exercise where I sat down and figured out who my audience was. So with that in mind, I don't know who you are. And I don't know why you watch. And what I'm doing here is not trying to explain it to you. I'm trying to tell you what I think. And I want to get your feedback as well on whether or not I'm anywhere close to the mark on this. But I'm assuming you're not watching this because you too are trying to learn Minecraft. I think that most of the people watching this know Minecraft much better than I do. So I don't think you're watching this for its educational value, if any. And I don't think you're watching it for the high-octane thrills, because I don't think it possesses many. This is, again, a very relaxed series. I think that the majority of people who do watch this series, this is my thesis statement, the majority of people who watch and enjoy Howdy Folks watch it and enjoy it because it's a known quantity. Maybe you've been watching Howdy Folks content for a really long time. Why is there paper in this chest? Why do I have so much paper? Why was it being stored inside of there? Someone make it make sense. Why is that the representative when that ended up over here inside of redstone things a long time ago? Makes no sense to me. Whether or not you've discovered me recently, been watching for a long time, I know I have people who are supporters of the modded content, and I think that's a different crowd. I think that that's a completely different group of people. I think there is some overlap, but I don't think that it's much at all. And I think that, I just think that the people who watch this are watching it for the chill vibes and the relaxed atmosphere. If I'm wrong, let me know. I'm not doing anything with this information. If you're curious, if you're wondering, like, is Rees getting ready to change the series based on feedback? No, this series is going to stay the same till it's finished. We're going to finish the year up. We're going to finish this series, and then this is going to keep being my forever world. And what we'll likely do is we'll probably still make content in here, not every day, because I think every day was a mistake. I've gone through periods. Right now, I'm inspired again, is what I'll say. Right now, I'm really enjoying what we've been doing in the basement and what we've been doing with all of our projects. But throughout the course of this series, there have been many instances where I've gotten just very bored, I guess, or not even bored. I've never been bored, but I felt a bit directionless. I felt a bit aimless, and I'm like, I got to get a project. I got to figure out something to do, something I can focus on. And doing big islands and doing basement remodels are like big projects that I can mull over the course of like a week or so and put kind of continuous effort into. And they keep me occupied and they keep me busy and they keep me looking forward to coming back home from work and putting a little bit more work into it, right? Like these series keep my brain occupied in a very good, very positive, very necessary way. Because as soon as I like run out of ideas, like that's when the episodes just become... I don't even know what. I like to think that every episode in this series so far has its flow, its purpose, its reason. Each episode tells a story of some kind. Today's episode, the story is how long can Rees ramble? Albeit unintentionally. It was not my intention to ramble when I started this, but how long can Rees talk about his theories on why people watch his content? Well, we're about at the limit right now, because I feel like I've already done a very poor job of expressing my thoughts on the subject. What I've found often is I will consider what I want to discuss in a video, and I'll, in my mind, in the voice in my head, I will do a little preview, or a little trial run would be a better term. I'll do a trial run of that video in my brain, where I'll sort of have the conversation, I'll do the commentary, you know, with my mind's, well, not my mind's eye, my mind's voice. In my head, I'll do the commentary for the video, and I'll think to myself, like, howdy, folks, how are you doing? My name is... I don't do the whole thing all the way through, but I am very much thinking, like, I've oftentimes wondered, who watches these videos, and what are they seeking to get from them? And, I'll do that sort of bit in my head, and it sounds really good, and I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a great video. And then what happens is I'll sit down to record them, and the video doesn't turn out exactly like it sounded in my head. Because first off, I don't remember what happened in my head. I'm like, I can barely remember how did it go? And I'm trying to remember, like, oh, this sounded so good earlier. What was the words my brain used? Why aren't they coming to mind? It's a struggle and it's a strain. Let me tell you, it's a struggle and a strain. You might be wondering why I'm putting all this in the middle of the room as opposed to in chests in their new home in these little cubbies. And it's because I wasn't thinking about it, and that would have made more sense. And I now have a great deal of regret. I'm upset with myself. I should have done that. That makes more sense to me now, but I didn't do that. I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, buddy. See, now that's what you're looking forward to, though. That's the Howdy Folks. Am I wrong? It's those sort of little inept moments of just foolishness that make you go, as you sit there with your coffee or your tea and your little strew waffle. What are they called? You know what I'm trying to say here. What are those things called? Wait, there's a whole thing of cobbled deep slate up here this whole time? They're the little, you dunk them, you dip them. You know what I'm talking about? Is there little waffles with a little, like, is it caramel kind of filling thing in the middle? Whatever you would call it. It's like it's strew waffle is close, but I don't think that's what it's actually called. And you're watching it, and you're watching me, and you're seeing sort of bad decisions take place in real time, and you're thinking to yourself, this is it. This is what I've wanted. This is that Howdy Folks content I have craved. Well, here it is, folks, in all its glory, and I hope it was good, and I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, I forgot. The water is already here. Right. I completely forgot. Darn it. I feel like I should stop rambling now, because I don't think I've said much of substance or worth this whole time. Is that going to damage those? Interestingly, no. Where did I put all of those signs? What did I do with them? They're in here now, right? I need them now. I actually need all the signs now. I have purpose for them. Let's see. There we go. The best part about this is kind of as I go, there's very little work I have to do inside of here, because this already goes all the way up. So really all I have to do is just mine it out and kind of expose it to the world. And so behind there is the water. Let's preemptively do this. Go ahead and put that there, and then as I break these one at a time... I mean, if I was really thinking ahead, I would have that in my offhand, like ready to go as soon as the block broke. But I'm not really thinking that far ahead. I mean, obviously I'm talking about it, so I am. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm just not going to bother with it. Is this right? Something doesn't look right. What am I doing? I just go down right here. Oh yeah, that block is exposed on, I think, every other iteration of this. Oh, darn it. Yeah, that looks wacky. It doesn't have to look the same as every other layer, though. That's really just not a necessity for it to be identical all the way down. Just out of curiosity, that's what it would look like if we cleared that away. And you just see this head on. It looks silly. Of course, what we could do, and arguably what we probably should do, is just eliminate this divider and move all those chests that direction. And have, like, with the dividers were never needed necessarily. They were never essential. The dividers are a part of a dated design aesthetic from very early on in the series, one that we are under no obligation to adhere to now that we are living in the future. Look, we can get rid of that. It's not needed anymore. Do we want to do this, though, is the next question. Do we want to do one of these, like that? And if so, do we want to mirror it on the other side? First off, let's restore this to the way it's meant to be. There we are. And then I don't know about putting them here in the middle. We do that on some layers and not on others, and I'm not sure really what... like, how we decide that, or if we have a way we decide that. I think that looks better to have them in the middle. Why is it like that down here? What's going on here? Or do we like this better? Oh, dear. I mean, it doesn't have to be the same on every level. Gosh darn it. No, I like this better. This looks better. This looks bad. That's gotta go. There we go. Oh, my goodness. Oh, dear. Oh, jeez. There we go. So we got more room under the stairs now. If we wanted to break those things out and have more going on over here. We could add another one of those and just have it over here. That'd be convenient, because oftentimes we need an anvil to rename things, and I always hop over here, but we don't need to. We just have an anvil over here. All right. Time to shuffle some things around here. I'm done, by the way, yammering, stammering, blabbing ever onward about nonsense. I should have had my thoughts more clear before I decided to go on this long tirade about my thoughts on why I think people watch my videos. I feel like I did not accurately represent my thoughts from earlier today when I had the idea to discuss this. I apologize for everything and for nothing. You get no apology. Except for the apology I already gave. That one you can keep. Oh yeah, remember when we used to name these things? Remember when we used to give them names? How irritating is that? I mean, it's kind of cool that it says Deep Slate up there, but ultimately useless. Okay, so I've moved everything over and kind of compacted it in here. Now I'm going to turn this wall over, kind of like we did that one. And I guess first I need to put down a couple more chests over here. I'm going to go ahead and move this one over there. We're going to keep Deep Slate over here. Why not? Why not? We've got a chest called Deep Slate. We might as well use it. And we might as well move the Deep Slate over there. There we are. Oh, you know what I just did was I put all the Deep Slate I've been using in there as well. That's foolishness on my part. Okay, take the 4 of the... Wait, where did these... Oh! The other chest I just broke. Okay, well, what I needed to do was this. So they can then place these, because they're very hard to place after the fact. And so we can fit another, 8 of these chests over here, the ones that we want to keep close to the entrance at least. I'm not sure which those would be. The idea of sorting these out has kind of gone by the wayside. Like, there is no logic or reason. Like, okay, the wood makes sense. The cluster of material makes sense. Nether things. I guess block things. But the rest of these don't really fit in there at all. They're all just sort of haphazard. So, I guess over here we've got wool. Glass next to wool makes sense. Those are similar. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what happened to all of the glowing ink sacs. I thought they would be inside of here. I know I didn't use them all already. I must have accidentally shift-clicked them into one of these many chests. And the problem is, there's many chests. And if I did do that, I don't know which one I did it in. Ah! You can understand, because it blends in. Is it raining outside? Is that what that noise is? It must be. I can't tell for sure because of the vines. Oh no. It's a stormy day. Oh, you know what we can do? Hold on. Let's see. Oh no, it's immediately after, isn't it? Oh, that's gonna be weird to get used to. Say we put animal parts inside of here. This is the new animal parts chest. It kind of apropos of nothing. I think over here would be a good place to put things that I need for quests and adventures. You know what I mean? So, for example, the Elytra 2. Elytra 2 should definitely go over here inside of this sort of adventure chest, as well as whatever the heck is inside of here. These things aren't really adventure-y related, but whatever. We're charging forward boldly. The arrows. The arrows should go here for sure. Up top or down below, I don't know. Where should arrows be located? I say arrows go up at the top. All of these things, this sort of random assortment of things here, that's going over here, right in the middle. This is going to be the most disorienting thing, is all of these items being in different places, because these are the things that we've come down here and reached for the most in, like, the middle of an episode. Just come down here like, oh, hold on, I gotta get more rockets. And I'm very... even now, just, like, mining my way through that, it's wrong. It is wrong, and it feels wrong, but we're gonna have to get used to it and carry on. Gonna have to do this. I don't want to, but I'm gonna have to. Just so I can get back here and place these down. Like that. So looking at what's left over here, there's not really anything I want to put in this other chest. Maybe I'll figure that out later. Looking over here as well, trying to figure out whether or not I want to relocate. Let's see how many. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chests left. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, I'll tell you what, I definitely don't need an egg chest over here. I feel like the egg chest, more than anything, is just a meme. The egg chest is a symbol of man's hubris. The idea that we just never have enough eggs. We can handle it, just let them keep producing eggs. We'll never run out of space for the eggs. Oh, how wrong we were, though. I like my idea for the glass. I don't know why glass and dye is together. I feel like those are two different things, both of which relate to wool. So maybe those get moved over here now. Maybe we have, maybe we have glass here. There we go. And then above that, in this chest that I've already placed down here, we have the dye. This is the perfect song for what I'm doing right now. I don't know why. But the vibe happening at this exact moment is exquisite. It's an exquisite vibe, and it's perfect for what's happening right now. I couldn't ask for a better vibe for what I'm going through at this exact moment. Absolute perfection. There we go. And then to represent dye, we'll just have the white one in there. I could do blue as well. We could do any color. It doesn't have to be the white one. I just grabbed it. See, all of these are like materials, and I don't feel like any... These are all just like objects and things. I don't think they go over here. I really don't. I don't feel like they go over there. I don't know where else to put them. Except for just over there where the eggs are. Yeah, I guess over there where the eggs are. Why not? Makes as much sense as anywhere else. Same for horse stuff, honestly. Why not? Just put the horse stuff over here. Armor that basically exists solely for the purpose of, like, getting the enchantments off. I can go over here. Well, I didn't quite finish before the song ended, which is a gosh darn shame. But I got pretty close. And here's essentially what we have. And I'd say essentially, but no, here's exactly what we have. This is that which it is, and that which it is now complete. Everything is in its place, and thankfully we have a place for everything. Now, the setup is not perfect. I will admit that I'm starting to question the places that I put certain objects and how certain things turned out, and the fact that I'm missing some things. I think most of my stuff is inside of here, yes indeed. But, as I toggle, this, so that we can maybe get a good shot for the thumbnail, and also it's just good for the audience at home, I think it looks a bit alright. I think it looks pretty decent. We got our elevator in place now, at the floor where all of our items are stored, which is something we've needed to do for a while. And I think we've integrated it into the space, pretty much the same as it is on every other floor. And I think it looks pretty good. And I'm pleased enough with it as it is. This looks weird. This dark gap here. I need to get some more, I guess, glowing picture frames for those chests there. I am curious about how this is to traverse, right? Because adding one of these in here means that now I have to be thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like when I go up and down a layer or a level, I need to be thinking about the fact that there's this extra tier here. So when I go back up, typically I'm like, okay, next floor, I know where that is, but I actually want to go up 2 floors. And can I actually get off fast enough to even make that distinction? So I want to pass this next floor. No, I want to pass this next floor. But I got to be ready to go as soon as I see it, because if I'm not quick enough past this floor, yeah, we miss it. That's going to be difficult. That's going to be convenient now, because I don't need to use the stairs anymore to get down here. That's handy. But I don't think I'll ever be able to be quick enough going from here to up here. Okay. I mean, we got a little stuck on that maybe that's just it. Maybe that's just the meta. Maybe that's what you have to do. You kind of have to leave a level early just to make sure you actually get there. And that's okay. That's still faster than using the stairs. I once again asked the question, did you ever think we'd be here? Did you ever think we'd make it this far? When we started this series way back in January, did you ever think that we'd get to a point now where we've got this awesome storage room? Awesome! And the elevator's in it! Just think about how long it took me to build the elevator. Now we got this elevator with all these different stops. There's one floor we're missing. It's not this floor. It's this floor. The floor that has nothing going for it. There's no reason for this level to exist. It has no function. It's just this sort of intermediary gap between better things. We need to do something with it. I'm now feeling bad. There's no reason to add an elevator stop. I was going to say, let's add an elevator stop. No. No, we're not going to add an elevator stop. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for there to be an elevator. Why would we ever stop on this floor? That's almost a meme in and of itself. Imagine if we just didn't. You know what I mean? Imagine if we just didn't. Till next time, thank you folks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Goodbye!